Yella Beezy is now staring down a life sentence, and sources say he's terrified. After allegedly being caught putting a hit out on MO3, he's been thrown into one of the most dangerous prisons where making it out alive isn't promised. Word is, the harsh reality of prison life is sinking in fast, and he is desperately looking for a way out. Things are so bad financially, even his grandmother had to step in to try and help.
Your grandson is substantially well off, right?
He might used to be, but if he could make a $2 million bond, he'd be out.
In this video, we're breaking down why Yella Beezy is terrified behind bars, and the deadly street beef that landed him there in the first place. Beezy is reportedly going through hell in prison, especially as murder-for-hire charges start to close in on him. The nightmare traces back to one tragic day, November 11th, 2020. That morning, Mo3 had no idea his life was about to change forever. It seemed like just another ordinary day for the Dallas rapper, who was following his usual routine, completely unaware of the dangers stalking him. As he drove along Interstate 35, a vehicle began tailing him, triggering a terrifying chain of events that quickly spiraled out of control. Sensing something was off, Mo3's street instincts kicked in. He tried to lose the vehicle, weaving through traffic in a desperate attempt to shake his pursuer. But the driver stayed locked in, refusing to let up. As the situation grew more intense, Mo3 made a split-second decision. He stopped his car right in the middle of the highway and tried to flee on foot. Heart pounding, he sprinted down the interstate, running for his life. But the gunman, undeterred by the chaos and danger of traffic, exited his car and chased Mo3 with a weapon drawn. What followed was a horrifying scene. A deadly game of cat and mouse, with Mo3's life hanging by a thread. That chase, caught on video, would later become a crucial piece of evidence in the investigation. It captured the final moments of a talented artist whose life was cut short far too soon. The murder of Mo3 sparked an intense investigation. Detectives pieced together the timeline, gathered witness statements, and sifted through surveillance footage. Within weeks, authorities arrested Q Dontrell White and charged him with the murder. But the case didn't stop there. As investigators dug deeper, a chilling theory emerged. This wasn't a random act of violence. Evidence pointed to a calculated hit, possibly tied to a murder-for-hire plot. That bombshell revelation soon brought another major Dallas rapper into the spotlight, Yella Beezy. And that's when everything changed.
State witnesses will testify to the amount of money that was to be paid for the murder.
In March 2025, the case took a dramatic turn when Maris Conway, better known as Yella Beezy, was formally indicted by a Dallas County grand jury. The indictment accused Beezy of orchestrating the murder of fellow rapper Mo3 by hiring Q Dontrell White to carry out the hit. He was slapped with serious charges, including capital murder for hire, a charge that carries devastating legal consequences. The news of Yella Beezy's arrest sent shockwaves through the music industry, and, beyond us fans and fellow artists, struggled to come to terms with the gravity of the allegations. He was taken into custody and booked into Dallas County Jail, with his bond initially set at a staggering $2 million. Media outlets quickly picked up the story, and it dominated headlines, fueling widespread speculation and intense public scrutiny. Timeline leading to Beezy's indictment tells a complicated story of betrayal, violence, and relentless investigation. From the heartbreaking murder of Mo3 to the arrest of Q Dontrell White, each development added new depth to an already tangled narrative. The eventual indictment of Beezy marked a turning point, raising serious questions about the motive behind the murder-for-hire plot and the relationships that may have influenced it. Following his indictment, Beezy's legal team fought to have his bond reduced. In a surprising and emotional moment during the bond hearing, his grandmother testified on his behalf, claiming that Beezy wasn't nearly as wealthy as his flashy lifestyle suggested. Her heartfelt plea played a crucial role in convincing the judge to lower the bond from $2 million to $750,000, arguing that he simply couldn't afford the original amount. The courtroom was tense as the prosecution, led by attorney Tommy Adams, laid out their case. Adams highlighted damning evidence, including surveillance footage allegedly showing White chasing and gunning down MO3 on Interstate 35. He painted Beezy as a flight risk, citing his ownership of a bulletproof GMC Denali and large financial assets. One of the most suspicious pieces of evidence, according to the prosecution, was a $40,000 cash withdrawal made shortly after the murder, believed to be connected to the hit. In an unexpected twist, Adams also revealed that Beezy may have only been responsible for part of the bounty on Mo3's head, hinting that there could be more players involved in the dark plot.
The witness will testify to the individuals responsible for the payment. That state's witness will also testify that Marquise Conway was one of the individuals responsible for a portion of that payment.
If Yella Beezy only funded a portion of the bounty on Mo3's head, it raises a chilling question. Who else was involved in financing the hit? Prosecutors hinted at the possibility of additional individuals being tied to the murder-for-hire plot, suggesting that Beezy may not have acted alone. The idea that more people could have contributed to the bounty paints a darker, more complex picture of the events that led to Mo3's tragic death. In contrast, Beezy's defense team pushed back hard against the allegations. They argued that there was no solid evidence directly linking Maris Conway to the plot. According to the defense, there were no text messages, phone calls, or social media communications tying him to the planning or execution of the hit. Without a clear digital or verbal trail, they claimed the prosecution's case was built more on speculation than on fact.
We received no information of any text message, any message on social media platform that our client paid for this murder.
Alma Jean Alexander, Yella Beezy's grandmother, delivered a heartfelt testimony, insisting that her grandson simply couldn't afford the original $2 million bond. Her emotional appeal highlighted the gap between his flashy public image and his actual financial situation. After weighing arguments from both the prosecution and defense, Judge Gracie Lewis ultimately agreed to lower the bond to $750,000. However, the reduction came with strict conditions, including a prohibition on any contact with victims or witnesses. Her ruling aimed to strike a balance between the seriousness of the charges and the financial limitations brought forth during the hearing.
You're agreeing that your grandson is substantially well off, right?
He might used to be, but if he could make a $2 million bond, he'd be out. I'm aware of all of those things, but I know he don't want to be in here, so I know if he could afford it, he'd be out. Plus, he has other deals. He don't just have money laying around.
This financial revelation came as a surprising twist in the case. I'm aware of all of those things, but I know he doesn't want to be in there, Yella Beezy's grandmother, Alma Jean Alexander, stated during her emotional testimony. If he could afford it, he'd be out. Plus, he has other bills. He doesn't just have money lying around. For his own grandmother to speak so openly about his financial struggles was a clear indicator of how desperate and fearful Beezy is about remaining in the Dallas County Jail. And with good reason, Dallas County Jail is considered one of the harshest county jails in the country. The facility is buckling under the weight of a surging inmate population, pushing it to the brink of chaos. Reports of severe overcrowding have sparked growing concern as both inmates and staff face mounting risks daily. At the core of the crisis is the rollout of a new court management system known as Odyssey. Meant to improve court efficiency, its integration with the county's existing adult information system has been plagued with problems, causing significant delays in case processing. As a result, inmates, many of whom have not yet been convicted, are being held for extended periods, swelling the jail's population. This software issue hit at the worst possible time, coinciding with rising crime rates, seasonal booking spikes, and aggressive law enforcement operations that have led to more arrests. These combined factors have created a perfect storm, leaving the facility near full capacity and dangerously overburdened. The consequences are serious. Inmates are crammed into tight spaces with basic resources stretched thin. Complaints about medical neglect, lack of hygiene supplies, and deteriorating living conditions have skyrocketed. The jail has become a pressure cooker of tension, where the potential for violence and unrest is growing by the day. Dallas County officials are fully aware of the severity of the situation. Sheriff Marion Brown and Commissioner John Wiley Price have both acknowledged the crisis, pledging to maintain order and ensure safety within the jail, despite the intense challenges. So far, Dallas County has managed to avoid transferring inmates to other facilities, a costly option that other counties have already been forced to pursue. Still, the financial strain is immense. Running the jail costs the county millions each month, and with no immediate solutions in sight, the pressure continues to mount. For Yella Beezy, this is the grim reality that awaits if he can't come up with the reduced bond. A situation that reflects not just personal consequences, but the broader failings of a strained and overloaded system. Officials have remained firm in their commitment to finding solutions and ensuring the safety of both inmates and staff at Dallas County Jail. And with that facility now set to become Yella Beezy's new home, it's time to take a closer look at what really led to this point, specifically the long-simmering beef between him and Mo3. Both Yella Beezy and Mo3 came from humble beginnings, driven by a shared passion for music and a hunger to leave their mark on the industry. Beezy was raised in the Oak Cliff neighborhood of Dallas, where his journey into music began at a young age, influenced by artists like Boozy Badazz and Kevin Gates. His breakout moment came in 2017 with the release of his hit single, That's On Me, a track that quickly blew up and pushed him into the national spotlight. With his mix of infectious hooks and gritty, streetwise lyrics, Beezy built a loyal fan base and gained serious underground respect. Mo3, on the other hand, hailed from North Dallas and faced a difficult upbringing of his own. He poured his struggles into his music, crafting raw and emotionally charged tracks that earned him comparisons to legends like Tupac Shakur. His 2016 mixtape, Shotaz Reloaded, showcased his lyrical skills and solidified his presence in the Dallas rap scene as a rising star with something real to say. As both artists climbed the ranks, their paths inevitably began to cross. They performed at the same venues, shared stages at local events, and were often mentioned in conversations about the future of Dallas hip-hop. In the beginning, there was a mutual respect, two hometown talents making moves in a tough industry. But as time went on, tension began to build beneath the surface. Eventually, that respect gave way to rivalry. Whispers in the streets and online chatter hinted at the beef escalating, and many believe it may have started over a woman. Diss tracks, subliminal shots on social media, and on-stage jabs soon became the norm. The combination of professional, competition, and personal grievances fueled a feud that neither artist could walk away from. Things took a darker turn in 2018 when Mo3's friend, comedian Roy P., was shot and killed in North Dallas. Prior to his death, Roy had dissed Yella Beezy and questioned his street credibility and ties to Oak Cliff. Just one day after Roy's murder, Yella Beezy himself was shot in a drive-by in Lewisville, Texas. The timing led many to speculate that Beezy's shooting was retaliation for Roy's death, a theory that gained traction on the streets and online. The back and forth continued publicly. In April 2019, Mo3 appeared on Vlad TV and addressed Beezy's shooting, insisting there was no real beef between them. A few months later, in July, Beezy also sat down with Vlad TV and seemed to downplay the situation, even going so far as to claim he didn't know who Mo